All right, Patreon. I'm here with Pocket. As you can see, she was meowing, so I scooped her up into my arms. And we talk a lot on this podcast about letting go of rigid models. And I guess what I'm sort of doing is actively sharing when I find out a new rigid model that I've been attached to. When I find out, it's very exciting, and then I start to break it, and it's always connected to other patterns I've broken. And anyways, I've been really thinking about one of our models, which is just days of the week, how you feel like it's time to work on Monday, how on the weekend you can feel more free. I've been a self-employed individual for a long time, so I've always had this big open schedule, and it's just fascinating to me to still feel this weight throughout the week that I should be working, say from the hours from 9 to 5. I also had I've always tried to maintain like a very consistent weekly content schedule. So this is just an example of a model I had in my head that I felt like I should abide by. And more recently, the in terms of the content schedule and why this is relevant is I was aiming to like record a podcast every Monday, but when I think about it, I'm always kind of overflowing with things to say because I don't know, with all the experiences I have, there's lessons in all of them. Anyways, I just recorded today, and I was sitting here like exporting the podcast I just recorded, and I'm like, I kind of want to I have something to say. Why not just record another one? And there's no reason not to. So I'm kind of trying to practice this like Buddhist truth of living in the moment, responding creatively, not adhering to arbitrary rules that I have in my head. So that's why I'm sitting here right now, spontaneously recording a podcast. This is more stumbling. This is a new, more expansive way for me to be creative for sure. The story that I wanted to share was the revelation that I had about my phone. And the phone is a poison. I saw this very clearly recently. And by the way, whenever I'm speaking, sometimes I'll say things as if it's a blanket statement, like I just said, the phone is a poison. I'm always speaking about my own experiences, speaking about what I've come to find, and things like this. So I'm never claiming anything to be the way. But for me, I realize that my phone is a poison. And to complete that statement, my phone is a poison that leeches away my presence. So this revelation of just how bad the phone problem is really came to me. And I'll be pretty honest, since this is the Patreon, it came to me when a phone notification took me out of my present moment. And I was sharing time with what word should I use here? A romantic person I'm interested in romantically. We were spending time together, and I received a notification. I received a notification from an Instagram DM from a different romantic interest, right? And I was only picking up my phone to use my flashlight. Prior to this moment, I was very present, just very there, just doing what I was doing. This notification, I saw it. It pulled me out. I became stressed out. I had a feeling that the person I was with, saw this message too. And, oh, you done? You okay? What's wrong? I was like, in a way like that, in that observer seat, I was watching this all happening, and I was like, wow, I was just pulled out of the moment involuntarily by my phone. I didn't even consciously go to check my notifications. Something appeared. Something appeared that pulled me out of the present moment. And this made me really angry. This made me really angry because... All right, you done? This experience made me angry, and I had this flash of an image of the phone as this device that I latch to myself. I latch it to my body. Basically 24/7. Even when I'm sleeping, it's near me in bed. And it has the ability, no matter what I'm doing presently, my phone has the ability to take me out of that presence, to distract me, to pull me in to something that does not matter in this moment. It pulls me out of that sacred presence of what I'm doing. I could feel myself getting frustrated. Out of my sleep, out of my experience with another human being, out of whatever it is I'm doing. And anybody who has ever had my phone number, anybody who messages me on social media, I control my notifications, but still there's a big pool of people who can instantaneously disturb me, pull me out of the present. This suddenly struck me, and I had kind of been just giving up on the phone addiction journey for the past couple months. It's been cold. I've just been scrolling, doing whatever. But it suddenly clicked that this is a huge problem. This is a problem that I've been dealing with for a long time. There's an addiction. And now I see that this device, this phone, while it has many great tools and many great tools that I use, like my camera, my notes app, maps, the ability to connect with people, these tools are beautiful, but this is a poison that's getting in the way of the spiritual truths that I'm coming to discover, namely the importance of being present. When you're present, you are fulfilled. When you're truly present, you are fulfilled. There's no lack of fulfillment if you're truly present. Because if you're present, life is so rich. As I'm looking around now, it's like Pocket is on my bed. That is a creature of infinite mystery. I'm expressing myself. It's a phenomenal sensation. I can hear the subtle noises of New York City outside, which gives me images of the grand expanse of New York City. The present moment is phenomenal. And we latch something to our bodies 24/7 that is constantly, relentlessly taking us out of the beauty of the present. When this happened recently, I was so angry because I feel like for the first time I saw just how bad this is. I always knew it was bad, but I really saw how bad this is. And I saw that I don't know what to do and I feel helpless. I happen to have a device ready to trade into Apple, my old iPhone. And I simply, immediately, I needed to smash it with a hammer. I was so angry. And I didn't know what to do. and I had this old phone. It had just transferred its data to my new phone. And suddenly I saw this really important decision. I feel a spontaneous desire to smash my iPhone. I can do it. I still have a new phone with all my data. Do I do it? Do I listen to myself? Do I take this symbolic action to just express my rage at the phone problem? Or do I play it safe, get that trade-in money? Or I was even comforted by having the two phones because I had a backup. What if my new phone gets stolen? Which road do I take here? I saw this as a very significant crossroads where this decision to smash my phone was the path of truth. I know it sounds ridiculous. And this decision to play it safe was to continue living in fear. Taking that option would feel like to deny how angry I am. And I smashed the phone. I had to smash the phone. And it felt amazing. It felt amazing. I suddenly understand why they have these smash rooms. Like, if you're angry, we're not meant to hold it in, you know? And it's good to, it's good. It felt good to, this is a problem I've been struggling with for a long time. It felt good to smash that phone. And there's a lot of irony because I filmed it with my new phone and I knew I wanted to post it to social media. And I think the irony of it almost made it, it made it perfect. The action was perfect because I was expressing my rage and my helplessness, and the irony of it shows that helplessness, but like I had to do something. And then, and I think I talked about this briefly in the last episode, but I wanted to fully flesh out this phone story. Pretty much right soon after that, I remembered that for a long, long time, I've wanted to unfollow everybody on Instagram. It just felt like something that would feel good to do. And I realized that desire to unfollow everybody on Instagram was similar to my desire to smash my old phone with a hammer. It was this gesture of pulling away, of disentangling myself from this crazy phone addiction. And initially with both of these ideas, there's fear because there's such an attachment to the phone that it's hard to even do one thing that pulls you away. But riding on the high of listening to my intuition by smashing the phone, I finally had the courage to unfollow everybody on Instagram. And I felt all this fear about it, which I think I mentioned in the previous episode. So sorry if I'm repeating, but I felt fear that I was going to lose connections, that people were going to be offended that I unfollowed them, that I was going to miss out on parties, that were posted on people's Instagram stories, that I would lose followers, all of these different things. And, the main thing that made me realize, like, the biggest thing holding me back was this feeling that, like, I need to hold on to all these connections with people. But that's actually feeling like I need to be following someone on Instagram in order to maintain the connection is actually devaluing the connection, because whatever moments I spent with these people in real life that got us to exchange a follow on Instagram, that experience, that experience of presence that we shared together, that should be the root of the relationship. And this feeling that we need to hold on to something so shallow as a mutual follow in order to maintain the connection it's denigrating the inherent value of human connection. Like, you don't need that. You don't need that, and you don't need to see everyone from all walks of your life. I'm going to close my door real quick. Like there was this feeling that, hey Pocket, there was this there was this feeling that, like, I don't know, say some person, I'll give a random name, say some John from high school that I connected with in one class, say I unfollow him, will I ever hear from him again? And my honest question is why do we need to hold on to every single person we've ever met? It I feel it. I feel this temptation. Like, yeah, these people were special, and I do want to. I want to collect them. I want to grasp them. I want to possess all of this and feel like it's a. But that's an ego trip. It's more clinging, and it's like it goes along with the presence thing. Like, if you really start valuing presence, it's like you're gonna really be the people where love is really flowing are going to be the people in your immediate community, the people that you end up seeing. And that's a natural process to let social media decide who you're going to see is, I don't know, potentially taking away from the love that you can be experiencing directly. Who's in front of you? Who do you live with? Who do you spend your time with? And it's like there's a for me there was an act of faith. It was the people who I'm meant to cross paths with in this life. I will cross paths with them. I don't need to hold on to this shallow thing. So that got me there to start pressing those unfollow buttons, and it was uncomfortable. I would see people, I would be like, fuck, like this is actually a person I love right now, and I want to see what they're posting. And maybe their account's private, and I won't even be able to see their profile at all. I went through all these uncomfortable feelings, but when I got down to zero, there was this feeling of relief. The feeling of relief came from the fact that this was something I wanted to do intuitively for a long, long time that I had been suppressing. So I was like, oh, like that feeling I can describe as fulfillment when you take an action that you wanted to do. Wow. Anyways, immediately, and I talk about my social media entanglements a lot and how I struggle to be creatively free and how I struggle with seeking external validation. I get down when my posts don't perform well. Immediately, something was lightened with my relationship with social media. First of all, I have no reason to go on Instagram. There's nothing there. There's no feed. There's no stories. It's crazy. It's a crazy sensation. After having spent however many years every day, multiple times a day, looking through everyone's story, looking through everyone's posts for way more time than is necessary to even see all those posts, and then getting into random posts that I don't even care about, it is quite the sensation to open Instagram and there's nothing. And this podcast is an example. I am in overflow with creativity. I just like to express, to share. I like doing this on Instagram still since the unfollow spree, and it's like, it feels lighter. It feels like there's less to prove because now there's no transactional followers. It's like, if you're following me, I imagine something is resonating in some way. And I don't know, this feeling of having unfollowed all my friends, it's like, now I have nothing to prove to them either. Like they're free to unfollow me if they want to. And I have less of this feeling that I'm also speaking to like all these people from my past who know maybe an old version of me. Like that feeling has dissipated. And I think this step has made me feel more creatively free on Instagram, which is awesome. And this brought up another thought of like, why does TikTok feel like a freer place? It's really interesting. Instagram really feels like a place where you present yourself as more of a rigid person, like more of a, not that you're a rigid person, but a more fixed idea of yourself on Instagram. Whereas on TikTok, I feel like people are weirder. Like I feel like a lot of people have TikToks that they actually don't want the people in their lives to see, because it's like just a more vulnerable form of creativity. Whereas on Instagram, it's like everyone kind of knows that everyone from their whole lives are going to see it. So it's become very, very rigid, very rigid. And I think since TikTok is more interest based, it really connects people with similar minds. So I don't know, it's like this feeling that on TikTok people are actually emboldened. They actually find community that does not hold them back from expression and freedom and experimentation and creation. Whereas on Instagram, it's like, I don't know, there is this feeling that I'm putting up a show, that everyone's putting up a show. So that's interesting. But yeah, the unfollower thing, it feels great. Like a lot of these entanglements I have with social media seem to have lightened. So I highly recommend it. If you're struggling with your relationship with Instagram, I highly recommend it. My reasons to go on my phone and do nothing have been sliced dramatically. Yeah, so I'm glad I'm actually taking some drastic steps to battle my phone addiction. So it does feel like something has shifted since that experience I described earlier happened. And I still think it's a behemoth of a monster of a problem, the phone addictions, but I'm glad I at least have more awareness. Awareness is always a good thing. And I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying to be present and not let my phone take me away. Seeking balance. A lot of these entanglements come down to just seeking balance. All right. Let me know what you thought of this spontaneous overflow podcast. That felt good for me. I feel like, yeah, why was I going to not record something I wanted to say and wait? I think I've been applying too many rigid models to my creativity, and I'm excited to be seeing this. And yeah, all right. Love y'all.